You don't have to wear an ascot and spats to get into the U.S. Open. While the annual tournament at Wimbledon, England remains a bastion of decorum and pomposity, the U.S. Open's freewheeling style gave birth to a new expression. Tennis, everyone?
You ever been in Wimbledon?
Myself?
No? Well, then, it's difficult, but I think it's absolutely different. And Wimbledon is like nowhere else. I mean, it's a special tournament, and here is like a zoo, you know.
Plane passes over the U.S. Open every minute from nearby LaGuardia Airport. It can ruin a player's concentration, but not the moment of victory. And while the cash registers inside help to make some contestants millionaire superstars, when the match is over, there's a chance to be human again. Steve Dunlop, Channel 5 News.
She is serving to 20-year-old Lori McNeil out of Houston, Texas. McNeil, a very close friend of Zina Garrison, and she came in here touted to us as a better doubles performer than she is a singles player.
Well, she played some great singles out here, and she really moves in well behind that second serve of Hana's.
She has sort of stayed in the shadow of Zina Garrison. They've been trained by John Wilkinson, and they are good friends, and they go around together. And it's only been in the last few months that Lori has really found her feet as a singles player. She has gorgeous, smooth shots. She runs very well. She glides a little bit like Yvonne Goolagong, and her backhand's very good. She does have a little bit of a weakness in the forehand under pressure.
Volley there by Hana. She's such a great athlete, Virginia. She moves, as we've said, like Yvonne Goolagong, who I thought was one of the most graceful women players of all times.
Yeah, Lori really does move well. She moves into the net well, and she moves to the backhand very well, and she has a very good instinct. It's something that Zina also has on court. She has a fine instinct. You'll nearly always see them in a situation like that, picking the right side to go to. It's a little unlucky when you're there and the ball hits the tape and jumps over your racket. Then she can do several things with the backhand. She can chip it early and come in behind it. She can roll it, again resembling Yvonne. Yvonne could do everything and disguise it well. And Yvonne also lobbed very well off the backhand when she was under pressure. Topspin. She's showing us a topspin cross court and down the line. In fact, we've seen a whole repertoire of backhands in just a couple of shots. It's always one of the things you want to show your opponent at the beginning of the match. Show them that you can do everything.
She's got Hana thinking a little bit here.
Exactly. Hana missed that ball because she saw that Lori had guessed the right way.
Good half volley there by Mandlikova.
She leads 3-1.
Court 16. It's kind of a different atmosphere, don't you think, Virginia, out on that court as opposed to the stadium or the grandstand? It's a lot more intimate, not as much running room.
It is more intimate, and the people are very close, and it's maybe a little bit noisy at times. It's a slightly slower court, but it's I think it's a good court, that one.
15-love.
Playing Hana the right way, she knows that she wants to get into the net as often as Hana does, preferably more often. Hana is very good from both baseline with her passing shots and the net, but you really don't want to have her at the net if you can help it.
Now, really impresses me with the firmness of her volley, Virginia. She's not wristy at all. She sort of blocks that ball and she puts the ball away.
That's right, Barry. She gets it out in front and she just puts the racket on the ball out in front. And that's a simple shot, nothing flashy or complicated about it, and And she sees it well. I think she was going the right way. She read which way Hana was going to hit that volley. You know, the moment you see somebody out of the corner of your eye going to the position you were going to hit the ball, you hesitate on that volley. Take your eye off the ball. Her serve is sometimes a little vulnerable on the second serve, but she has days when she serves really well and everything's flowing, and she has days when things don't go so well. So that's the one thing that Laurie has to work on in her game, consistency.
40-15.
And that play right there that Hana made, I think, is the only way that you're ever going to beat somebody like Martina specifically. It's just to try and chip and come in and take a few chances.
That is the way to play this game on fast courts. You take the second serve on the rise and you come in behind it and you put so much pressure on the server.
Game McNeil.
There it is. Game for Laurie McNeil. She goes to a 4-1 lead.
We'll be back with more on the first set in just a moment. It has been a perilous open for the seeded women, and here's suddenly the number 3 seed, Hana Mandlikova, is looking up at 20-year-old Laurie McNeil. They are in the first set. Hana serving at 1-4. Laurie against Hana. Laurie was at Oklahoma State. She had a fine tennis career there, Barry.
She got ranked number 8 in the country in intercollegiate tennis, which is a fine ranking. Solid volley there by Hana. You know, it's interesting here at the tennis center, when something is happening out on court 16, all of a sudden word spreads throughout the grounds, and all of a sudden people are rushing over to court 16. Hey, there's an upset in the works here.
Well, I'm wondering whether Hana Mandlikova underestimated Laurie when she went on court today. No, she only lost 2 games in both her last 2 matches. She beat Ann White 6-1, 6-1, and she beat Shua Larson 6-2, 6-love. She lost the set in the first match. But I tell you, you can't underestimate anybody when you go on. Especially somebody that you don't know that well.
Interesting. She threw the ball up there, Virginia. Didn't like the toss. Let it drop. Virginia, don't you think 128 draw, that's what makes the big tournaments, the slam tournaments, so tough to play. You just can't walk out and ever, underestimate somebody. All of a sudden you're going to be out of the tournament. You got to win 7 rounds to win this thing.
Exactly. A wonderful shot. You can always have a player who has not got a huge reputation, who will have a really hot streak and will come and play well in a tournament and have a little bit of luck maybe to help them. Somebody will beat the seed for them, but you'll never get them to actually win this tournament. Luck will never win you a major tournament like this.
Nice shot.
What a great rolling forehand. There you saw the variety. You mentioned it, Virginia. She can slice under the ball. She can come over the ball. She's got a great variety of shots.
It's incredible to go out against Hana Mandlikova and just play as if it's any old match anywhere. This is for a chance to get into the quarterfinals. Her ranking's only about 110.
Love 15.
I wonder if she'll go through a little hiccup here. She thinks that she's 5-1 up.
She seems to be remarkably calm, though, Virginia.
She's a super girl. She's always around, being very friendly, very low-key, but always ready to say hello to whomever and smile. And really popular. Plays good doubles, too. And this is where you see that doubles helps when they get into matches on the fast courts and they start serving and volleying. Simple.
15-30.
That's great for Laurie. She's playing well today.
She throws the ball like Zina Garrison. Down low and then gets it real high.
15-30.
seemed to
15-40.
slip a little bit on that. If we watch her serve, just as she's about to hit the ball, she has a very nice upright stance. She's really going to reach up high. It's a perfect position just before the contact point. Very classic position.
I think her service motion is a lot smoother than Zena's.
It's much better. Zena gets herself aligned in a strange manner. That position there was good.
Game, Mandlikova.
But she can't close it out with her serve. Maybe she heard all of these nice things you all have been saying about her. So now, Lori McNeil leads the first set, 5-2, and we'll be back at the U.S. Open. Against the New York Giants. Right now, you're looking at a potential upset in the women's singles. Hana Mandlikova serving at 2-5. She's in the first set against 20-year-old Lori McNeil of Houston. Barry?
It's interesting. That's the second time now, Brent, we've seen Hannah throw the ball up and then not go after it. I think a lot of people watching, they feel once they throw that ball and start the service motion, they have to go after it and hit the ball. You really don't have to. If you don't like the toss, let it drop.
That's right. You have no obligation. You might upset your opponent if you do it too many times, but risk that.
Virginia, remember Louise Bruff? The player was such a great player. She used to sometimes throw that ball up 6-7 times before she'd go for it.
Barry, I have to tell you that I know that by reputation, but I didn't see her, regrettably.
30 love.
That shows our little age difference now, Virginia.
Now, Hannah's got to pick up her game a little bit because she's been making some errors. She's still a breakdown in the first set. Laurie is playing everything smoothly and well. And really tidy up, Hannah has to.
40
Good
love.
first serve. Good follow-up there. Beautiful forehand right up the line. Hannah had no play on that ball.
40-15.
Solid forehand volley again, and she took a real good shot to come in on. She got a deep approach shot. Her approach shots, Virginia, look so solid that she really sometimes doesn't have to hit a great volley. It's high.
Well, she's hitting them just right. She's taking her time with them, and she glides with them. Takes the ball and goes in at the same time.
Now, I thought right there, Lori pressured her. She started to move in. I think Hannah saw her coming in, so she tried to hit too good a volley, overhit it. We're at deuce.
Yeah, Hannah definitely took her eye off. I'm sure Laurie's wanting to win this game because having lost her last service game, she doesn't want to have to serve again for the set.
Advantage, Mandlikova.
When you're not expecting to be in such a good position, it's easy to start thinking about how well you're doing instead of just playing each shot.
This is what I like that Lori's doing. Look, she's moved about 3 feet inside the baseline to receive second serve. She'll try and take that ball and move in behind it. There she comes. Boom.
It was a little bit short, that one, but the idea paid off.
Do it again. There she moves in. Hana's got to see her moving in like that, too. Don't you think,
Yes,
Virginia's got to
certainly.
shake her up a little bit? Good get.
Advantage,
Virginia, I don't know
Mandlikova.
about you, but whenever I played and saw somebody coming in all the time on my second serve, it used to drive me crazy. I mean, I really sort of took my eye off things and started to watch the return guy rather than concentrating on my serve.
Well, that's what its effect is. Well, that's better play by Mandlikova. Barry, I mean, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, that's what one's trying to tell him. You're not keeping it a secret. You're trying to enforce the fact that that's what you're doing. But I always felt that if somebody was coming in on my second serve, that the only answer was maybe to, instead of kicking it, was to slice the ball into them a little bit more so it didn't stand up so much, and also come in behind it as well.
Biggest game of the match, Brant, here for Laurie. She's got to hold serve. She leads 5-3. She doesn't want to let Hana win this game, otherwise they'd be back on serve. I'm sure she's under a lot of pressure here. Ooh, left cord.
15 all.
That could have been trouble. If that thing had just dribbled over, she would have had no play on that ball.
Yeah, Laurie's got to just play every point, not think about the score, one at a time.
First serve, 2 points away now. I'm sure this young lady is saying, hey, I am 2 points away from being a setup on Hana Mandlikova. Good return. She caught her coming in, but Virginia, I'm impressed with the way she handles that racket up around the net, too. She hits half volleys, drop volleys, got a lot of touch.
Tremendous touch and very natural. That's the one weakness that I see in her game, because I tell you something, if she were just playing as well as she is today, if she played like that all the time, her ranking would be way, way higher. So maybe she's just in the stage of getting there. Getting a little help from Hana, though.
Ooh, that's the time you want to get that first serve in. Now she's really under a lot of pressure. Add out. She's got to get this second serve in. Will Hana come in behind it?
She should.
Yes, she does. Ooh, but she misses. Big opportunity there for Mandlikova to get back in this match. She missed the approach shot. Now it's over, and we are at set point. Laurie McNeil serving for the first set on court 16. And people are saying, what is going over there?
From Houston has won a set from Hana Mandlikova 6-3. Can she keep it up? This would be the McNeil, who won that first set handily, 6-3, then just kept up her magnificent play in the second set. And she was dominating Hana.
And it's just great. Laurie's just keeping up the standard today. It's super. She's playing super tennis. Mandlikova's still a little sloppy. That's the sort of shot that Mandlikova shouldn't miss in a tight situation like this. Too many errors. Mandlikova is still playing one brilliant match a day, and then the next day probably playing a little bit under par. Good serve from Laurie.
40 love.
Unbelievable, Virginia, that she is up 4-1 in this set. Just 2 games away now from this amazing upset.
Out game, McNeil.
Down to 4-2.
Now, this is a tough time. This is a very tough time. This is where the reputation stands facing you at the other side of the net.
15 love.
This is where Hana has got to show whether she can come through when she's in real trouble. the right play. Again, even at 40 love, Hana plays a really sloppy shot. At this stage, she doesn't want to give away any more gifts to give Laurie more confidence. That play's still coming off. Exactly the right thing. Force her to make a passing shot.
Game Mandlikova.
So Hana holds her off there, Virginia, here in the second set. Laurie still leads it 4-3. We'll come back with more on this drama in just a moment. First set out on court 16, Hana Mandlikova was beaten by Laurie McNeil. The score was 6-3. We are now in the second set as we resume the action, and Laurie is ahead 4-3. And Virginia, you have to start wondering about Laurie's nerves at this point. She's closing in on an amazing upset here.
Well, she's got to be thinking, how can I just play out 2 more service games the same way? And she's been winning most of her serves, but there have been some service breaks, so there's that doubt lingering in her mind. And of course, it's so hard to stay in the present moment and not to think forward. It's an awful long way from this stage to actually going and shaking hands as the winner. Hana has played a match which has been a little bit loose at this stage of the tournament. Ooh, I think that was actually a slight mishit from Hana. One of those tough balls to hit in the air. It looks so easy and you take your eye off it for a split second and dump it. Love 30. She's got to get a good first serve and just play the way she was playing all through the first set.
First serve.
I bet Laurie's heart is going a little faster than usual at this moment. Okay, that's 1 point back. All she has to do on paper is win this game and win her next serve, but she's playing somebody who has got a tremendous reputation as a tremendous player.
You called it out, man. You called it here.
Replay the points, please. The ball was good.
Well, I'm not quite sure whether they're talking about the service ball or the ball on the baseline. However, the umpire said play the point again. It's a strange decision to make at this stage. It must have been the one on the baseline. Corrected call. 15-30.
15-40.
That was a good serve. I bet Hana's wondering how she's ever got into this much trouble when she's been playing so well during the week.
Game Mandlikova.
They slip away very easily, those games, when you just want them most of all.
Laurie was up at 4-2, has now lost the last 2 games, so it has definitely changed, and she has to jump back in this one right now.
This is what you call the momentum in a match, when somebody's been leading all the way and then suddenly loses a few games in a row.
15 love.
It's very hard to forget that, especially when you're as young as Laurie. You have to It takes a lot of experience to be tough enough to just say the past is the past
30
and
love.
go back almost to the beginning at this stage when you're beginning to get a little flustered to say, all right, well, I've just got to pretend that maybe it's the beginning of the second set or the middle of the first set, sometime when I was fairly calm. The section that Laurie came through is where Jo Dury lost, and she lost to Ann Minter, and then Laurie beat Ann Minter in the third round. So, in actual fact, the work was done for her by Ann Minter, of knocking out the other seed. Good bowling. Okay, well, she's broken serve several times now, 30 all. Hannah's not out of trouble yet. Well, tremendous play by Mandlikova, getting out of two tough shots.
Hana Mandlikova, who was down 4-2 in this set, now has reeled off three and won the second set and then dominated the third set 6-2. So young Laurie McNeil drives Hana Mandlikova into third set before she finally bows out.
Hello and welcome once again to Flushing Meadow, where I'm afraid it's turned rather windy for ladies' quarterfinals day. But first of all, let's just remind ourselves of the lineup, where at the top there Helena Sukova and at the bottom Sylvia Haneke are the only two unseeded players. It's those two matches in the centre we shall be concentrating on today. First, the one in the lower half between the number 3 seed Hana Mandlikova and the 16-year-old Canadian Carling Bassett, who's seeded 14. The Czech girl lost her serve for the third time to lose the opening set 6-4. She was trailing love 3 in the second, came back to 2-3, and then it was her turn to serve again. From Bassett's point of view, she really wants to strain every sinew now to break the serve again, to let Mandlikova know that she's not out of this set. That's the sort of shot that's quite incomprehensible. It wasn't necessary for it to be that good, that low over the net. She was just trying to fence from the back of the court. Her opponent wasn't coming in. Well, Bassett has been given the opportunity to reimpose her mental dominance. Well played. And we've had a little trouble with that shoe working loose before in the match. My goodness, she was quick to take that chance. And one has to say, though, that Mandlikova presented it to her, those two incomprehensible backhand errors. One into the net and one flying well beyond the baseline. Let Bassett back into that last game. Really a player of this quality. 14 now in the world, this young lady. Has enough experience in this game to take her chance now, I feel. Oops. Took her head up there, didn't keep herself down over the ball to hit through it. 30-15. Oh! Bassett, you've probably noticed, just holds the one ball when she's serving. If she serves a fault, she calls for another. You as a double-hander, you need the two hands on the rackets after the serve, so you either have to do that or hold two balls and throw one away if it's a fault.
Hey, ball boy. If you care, which I'm not sure I would, when she's serving from the deuce court.
And what a marvelously composed game from Bassett there. Has she got enough experience and nerve to convert that lead, Mark?
Well, of course, it's a difficult mental situation for Bassett, because I'm sure that she doesn't feel that she is in control of the match. She is, in fact, leading 6-2, 5-2, 6-4, 5-2. And really, all she is doing is just participating in the rallies, and the outcome of the rallies is more or less being determined by her opponent, Mandlikova. Sometimes it's a great shot, and others it's, as we've seen, it being a consistent string of errors. But from her point of view, all she's got to do is maintain the level that she's playing at. Keep pushing the ball back and give Mandlikova the opportunity to continue to make the mistakes.
That's what she means if she tells us something again. Yeah.
And certainly Mandlikova has really, I think, now got to find something exceptional if she's going to come back from the jaws of defeat today like she did yesterday. It's 2-5.
Well, the difference today is she's playing a world-class player. Before, she was playing a qualifier, and it was a 2-4 deficit, not a 2-5 deficit. Well, can you believe it? A sixth double fault, almost a mishit, and double match point. Oh, my word, that was either very brave or very fortunate. That serve was so deep and so wide. Deuce. Well, at least she can smile. Ace number 2. Well, it was rather clever of her opponent to come to the net there and commit Mandlikova to the pass. Deuce. Talk about walking a tightrope. This has now become the longest game of the match. I felt there that Mandlikova should have come in. She almost did on the shot that she hit to allow Bassett to come in. I don't think she wants to allow Bassett to take the initiative now. Five games to 3, with Bassett now to serve for the match, and Mandlikova really flirting with disaster there. Although Bassett was dictating the course of the rally, that was an inspired early taken forehand to force the error. Well, she just cannot string the points together. And one wonders what's going through her mind at a moment like this in a match. That really was a despairing effort at a pass. She rushed it, she didn't get her feet right, and it was all rather careless. Match point number 3. It's all over. And despair in the camp of Hana Mandlikova, who really frittered the match away today, 6-4, 6-3, in just 57 minutes. And one can only say that that talent will never be fulfilled, will never show its true potential until her mind gets into a new gear so that she can really make herself work and try and graft in a match instead of frittering away the points. But for Carling Bassett, a tremendous day. Meanwhile,